This is the 2021 year in review of Minister Pernell Charles Jr., Minister of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change. In January, government imposed Phase 3 of the ban on single-use plastics. Over 30 individuals from Drewsland and Seaview Gardens in St. Andrew and Havana Heights in Clarendon received their certificates of title from the Ministry of Housing. The Climate Change Division launched the Gender and Climate Conversation Project, facilitating a gender-responsive approach to climate change adaptation and mitigation in Jamaica. The Ministry of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change (MUREC) held a virtual town hall on the Beach Access and Management Policy Green Paper or Draft stage in February. Over 40 individuals received certificate of title from the Housing Agency of Jamaica (HAJ) for lots in Retirement 1 and 2, Meadowsvale, Norwood and Pit 4 in St. James. There was the launch of the first of 3 model housing units under Phase 1 of the new Edmund Ridge Estate development at Rose Hall in St. James. In March, there was the project launch of the Vertical Marine Farm in Portland between the British High Commission and the Alligator Head Foundation. The Commonwealth Day virtual seminar on delivering a common future, building resilience to climate change. Meeting with the Honourable Anne-Marie Trevelyan, UK's Minister of State for Business, Energy and Clean Growth. The minister reiterated the UK's appreciation for Jamaica's strong voice and leadership on climate change at the international level and the UK's hopes for more engagement with Jamaica. Expansion of the network of tree planters, collaborating with Minister without Portfolio in the Ministry of National Security Matthew Samuda and the Department of Correctional Services to plant trees at the Rio Cobra Juvenile and Tambourine Farm Adult Correctional Centres. Jamaica became the first country in the world to begin the process of developing a predictive climate risk assessment planning tool for major infrastructure areas under the global private sector-led Coalition for Climate Resilient Investment. Let's Talk Housing virtual town hall featuring various stakeholders across the Ministry of Housing. Meeting with Chargé d'Affaires at the U.S. Embassy, John McIntyre, and USAID Country Representative Jason Frazier to discuss Jamaica's leading role in climate change resilience and finance in the region. Let's Talk Housing for Youth virtual town hall, where some youth leaders voiced their concerns. Minister Charles led the Jamaican delegation at Day 2 of the Leaders Summit on Climate Change with Special Envoy John Kerry discussing economic benefits of the net zero transition. He was also in attendance at the Virtual Leaders Summit hosted by U.S. President Joe Biden, where he, along with the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Honourable Kamina Johnson-Smith, supported Prime Minister Andrew Holness. In May, Minister Charles made his inaugural sectoral presentation in Parliament, where he detailed how MUREC is working to renew Jamaica. Meeting with the new Canadian High Commissioner, where she reinforced Jamaica's strong partnership with Canada to build and strengthen our capacity to withstand the impacts of climate change. State of the Environment Corporate Leaders Meeting. This meeting was held with over 70 private sector organizations regarding the state of the environment and how we can all work together to better protect it. A UK CARICOM virtual dialogue on climate disruption, biodiversity loss and nature-based solutions. High-level seminar on climate change impacts under the theme Climate Change as an Enhancer of Vulnerabilities, Its Impact on Afro-Descendant Populations, Indigenous Peoples and Latin American Migrants. Tree planting activity at the JP Farms in St. Mary with Minister Matthew Samuda, members of the Jamaica Combined Cadet Force and staff of JP Farms. In June, Minister Charles joined NEPA in planting mangroves along the Palisades Port Royal protected area. He says we're not only planting, we are putting in the necessary infrastructure to protect and maintain the healthy development of mangroves. Live session with the U.S. Embassy. Prepare today, protect tomorrow, becoming more resilient towards climate change. The discussion was focused on the goals and measures being set to build and strengthen Jamaica's resilience and reduce the impacts of climate change. Meeting with Mayor of Kingston, Delroy Williams, and representatives from the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, to explore possible avenues of partnership between the two entities to integrate sustainable development and urban renewal into local economic development at the city level. A tour of informal settlements in St. Anne. Signed the Memorandum of Understanding for the National Programme of the Environmentally Sound Management of End-of-Life Pneumatic Tires, the launch of the Green Bond project that will pave the way for the floating of green bonds from Jamaica and the region on our stock exchange. Conversations Canada series at the Canadian High Commission. Theme: protecting Jamaica's marine resources, environment and climate change. Opening of the Catherine's Estate. The much anticipated deposit refund scheme for plastic bottles took effect. In July, the minister hosted senior UK cabinet member, the Honourable Alok Sharma, co-chair of the NDC Partnership and president-designate for the 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP26. The official launch of Jamaica's Climate Change Research Agenda, a collaborative initiative among MUREC, NDC Partnership and the University of the West Indies. High Ambition Coalition Ministerial meeting in London, where the focus was increasing adaptation, loss and damage due to climate change impacts, and mobilizing finance for small island developing states and other developing countries. In September, high-level meeting with over 150 participants, continuing the engagement on building stronger partnerships for more effective climate and nature actions. Jamaica hosted the 32nd session of the Latin America and the Caribbean Forestry Commission. The discussion focused on COVID-19's impact on the sector and communities, new FAO strategic framework on forestry, access to climate and environmental finance, restoration of forests and other ecosystems, and integrated fire management. The CEO and Conservator of Forests at the Forestry Department, Mr. Ainsley Henry, was confirmed as the new president of the Commission. High-level dialogue on climate action in the Americas. This discussion was centered around climate change as an existential threat that requires increased ambition, urgent action, and collaboration from all international actors. Pre-COP conversations and launch of Jamaica's Nationally Determined Contributions Implementation Plan. In October, tour of the Seascape Housing Development with Member of Parliament Juliet Holness. Road to 70,000 webinar, meeting with Minister of Local Government, Honourable Desmond Mackenzie, to discuss the collaboration needed for the provision of housing developments in specific areas. As Jamaica prepared for the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference, a meeting was held with the British High Commissioner to Jamaica, Her Excellency Judith Slater, outlining plans for continued partnership in tackling climate change. In November, Minister Charles represented Jamaica internationally at the biggest and most important climate-related conference on the planet, the 26th Climate Change Conference of the Parties, COP26, held in Glasgow, Scotland. During the two-week series of events, Jamaica was among 5 pioneer countries selected by the Task Force on Access to Climate Finance to pilot new approaches to access finance and support at the national and local levels. The other countries selected were Bangladesh, Fiji, Rwanda, and Uganda. Jamaica launched the Partnership Action Fund with an initial capitalization of $33 million from international partners. Jamaica joined with approximately 120 world leaders in the promise to tackle deforestation by 2030. Minister Charles participated in at least 8 strategic bilateral meetings and at least 25 side events which covered topics from climate finance, technical assistance for carbon reduction plans, access to microfinance and investment capital, technology, private sector participation, energy access and financing, resilient infrastructure, among others. MUREC completed surveys of informal settlements in 8 parishes. There was also MUREC's National Biodiversity Conference. And that was the year in review for Minister Pernell Charles Jr., Minister of Housing, Urban Renewal, Environment and Climate Change.